So this is a micro-MICA moment. I'm with Suzanne Zahr at the SZ Gallery. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we get a hug, I think.
Oh, sure. With pleasure.
So I think I have been interviewing your artists for a long time now.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You would have me come in, but you and I never get a chat. So we finally have that time.
Well, I appreciate it.
And I have been anxious to, because I think the world of you. I think the world of Suzanne, indeed. So you are a photographer, a painter, an architect, a GC, a general contractor, a developer, a business owner. What more can't you do?
Well, the most important job I have is a mother.
And you're a mother,
Yes. Yes.
And so I'm in awe, and it sounds a little bit like being a sycophant, but this is all true in the moment.
Thank you.
Yeah. So everyone knows your gallery, knows what you've done on the island. Well, most everyone, I would like to think. If you don't know who Suzanne is, then you have to know who Suzanne is. But you're an architect and you're a GC, and that's what your business is. Let's just go back into the past and just talk to us a little bit about your background, what you've done, and what you're doing.
Sure, happy to. Well, my primary profession is an architect, and I have been an architect for just over 20 years now. And in the last couple of years or so, I decided to also become a general contractor. So I have two businesses. My general contracting firm is called SE Build.
Okay.
And we are housed in this retail space here on Mercer Island with a front-end art gallery.
Which is amazing. I think everyone loves this.
Yeah,
I mean,
this has become a real venue, actually,
Yeah,
for some really fun social
I
gatherings.
kind of think of you almost like the impresario of Mercer Island. You bring these wonderful artists in.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Diaghilev in Paris in the early 1900s, so that was ballet, but this is still a similar medium.
It's been amazing having a foot in the art world, actually, because, you know, if you know architects and general contractors, our heads are usually down and we're incredibly focused, and it's really good to pick up our heads and meet inspiring artists. And we rotate the gallery, the front end gallery here every 2 months, so we have 6 exhibits a year, occasionally with a pop-up show, you know, every once in a while. We've had live music in this space.
I've served wine in this space.
You have, that's true. There's a lot of
That's
wine being poured
yeah.
out of this space, which is really fun.
You know, I want to come back to the gallery, but you kind of were starting to talk about an architect and a general contractor.
Yes.
Is that normal?
Well, there are design build firms out there, and it actually takes it back to more of like the master builder model back in the day. But what I think differentiates us is that we're an architect-led design build firm.
Okay.
Typically, you have general contractors who then have internal design teams, but there's a big difference once it's architect-led, which means the design integrity is first and foremost, and the value engineering and the problem solving and the actual technicality of building is always in support of the design.
Right. And is that a benefit to you to keep everything under one roof?
It is. It satisfies the control freak in me, granted.
Okay.
But I've also sat at the end of the table long enough to see that there could otherwise be contention between the design team and the build team, where for good or bad, I take full ownership. So if I'm arguing with myself. But internally, really, it's one team that carries the project through. So we're committed and intimately familiar with the design. And our lead construction manager, Ed Baum, is very much folded into the design process to help us with pricing iterations. He redlines our plan sets.
Perfect.
We have lofty ambitions as architects, and Ed keeps us honest.
Yeah.
And keeps us buildable. And so it's an iterative process that's multidisciplinary that, if done right, if we're doing our jobs well, will create this sort of seamless experience for our clients from beginning to end. And it's more cost effective because of its efficiencies. Yeah, I think it's a good way to go.
So what are you doing right now? What are some of the projects that you and your team are working on?
Oh, we've got really actually a fun mix of work, some addition remodels here on Mercer Island, in Seattle. We've got some commercial spaces, commercial office spaces that we just recently finished. Actually, one here on Mercer Island called Kopi Partners. That was a really fun project that we did in a design build fashion.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
If you could choose to do a project for one person,
Oh.
who would that be?
Well, I honestly, right now, for myself. Is that a terrible thing to say?
Your own house?
Yeah, I moved on to Mercer Island about 5 years ago and bought a fixer, and it was a good investment, I think, at the time. But in the last 5 years, I might have designed at least a dozen versions of what to do. And actually, I brought it in as a project for the team.
Yeah.
Officially gave it a project number, and which was the best thing I could have done because the feedback and the collaboration I have now in-house has really taken it to the next level. And that is the one project I would one day really love to do. It's kind of cobbler's shoes scenario sometime with my own home. But outside of that, I think what's interesting is that every client is unique and every property is different. If we can see eye to eye with our clients, if they understand that our methodology is a little different and they're looking for what the benefits that we hope to offer, then each project's a dream.
I mean,
Yeah.
in your office with everyone working, and it's a real scrappy team. Everyone turns around, and people are very intelligent and know exactly what they're doing. And so
Well,
I definitely have seen that.
We have very quick turnarounds.
Yeah.
We're very fleet-footed, and we do our best to be very agile. And I have to say, I learned from my experience when I was working for Amazon as a consultant and designing office spaces around the globe for them. And for Starbucks corporate within store design, these are big sort of iconic brands. Agility is so important.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I learned from my corporate experience is you have to embrace the ambiguity. It's not black and white. We live in the gray.
Yes.
But we do that with a certain faith that it will come. And we don't know all the answers. We don't expect our clients to know all the answers, but we sure will figure it out together.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the spirit in which we approach a project. And some clients are not a good match for us nor a match for them because they're expecting black and white solutions up front. That's not the philosophy that we hold.
Right, exactly. But you do wonderful stuff, and I really
Thank
enjoy
you.
being here. Let's go back to the gallery here.
Yeah.
So you are presenting currently Gitta Peters.
Yes.
Tell us about Gitta Peters, and also let's talk about some of the other artist stuff after we talk about her.
Sure. Yeah, we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary
That's
in
amazing.
this space.
So 2 years, that's the
Yeah.
cotton.
It is the cotton.
Anniversary.
Yes, and this coming April 6th, which is the first Friday of April, is almost 2 years to the day when we opened our doors. And for our cotton anniversary, we're kind of playing off cotton candy cocktails.
Oh, I'm going to be here.
It'll be super fun. But we opened with Gitta Peters.
Okay, wonderful.
And
like you opened this space with Gitta
yes,
Peters, is what you're saying.
yes,
Okay.
Yes, 2 years ago. And this is very fitting timing because the pieces that, about a half of the collection is going to be shipped by the end of the month to galleries on the East Coast. But we were her entree into the US, which is pretty cool. She's been very well collected throughout Europe. So Gitta Peters is a Danish-born artist who lives in Monaco and the south of France, and she's very
Jet setter.
She is, and I got to know her through my father, who is friends with her, and so I was looking to open up retail space because I wanted this connection to the plaza and for open door, opportunities for people to come in. And I was looking for something to retail.
Yeah.
And I was visiting my dad in France at the time and toured her studio and kind of was smitten with the richness of her work. And she was willing to ship a bunch of her artwork here.
That's amazing. But you have that, I don't know, people seem to do that for you.
Artists really get excited to exhibit here.
Because here we have, we have these beautiful statues right here,
Yes.
these ceramic pieces. They also ship stuff from Iran,
Yes,
of all places.
Really, we called it the Persian Garden. We filled the space, the gallery, before Gita's work came back up, just as kind of our celebration towards, our new 2-year anniversary. But the Persian Garden exhibit was towards the end of last year. It was in November and December. And
which was amazing. It was wonderful,
yes.
Beautiful, and I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
It was pretty magical.
I bought something.
I know. I think
Your favorite.
My favorite, yes. You and Sharon actually got
Yes.
my favorite pieces.
Sorry.
But that's okay. I know I didn't move fast enough. But Monir and Mehdi and Beji are the husband and wife team that have been creating these wonderful ceramics in Tehran, and they have 2 workshops just outside of Tehran. And they're just absolutely stunning, and they're masters at their craft and very soulful in their work. And they came to our openings, and their daughter lives here on Mercer Island, so they come for months at a time. And they shipped last time they went home, and actually they're there now preparing for our next show for them.
I'm so excited
So
for
we'll
that.
be exhibiting a new collection of theirs in December. So
Yeah.
we've had a real diverse mix of artists.
You really have. I think everyone is always so excited to come on the first Friday and see stuff that you have.
Yes.
I'm always telling people off the island, come here, see Suzanne Zahr's gallery. Come down here if you haven't been down.
Yeah, it's really fun, and our next exhibit's going to be awesome. We're featuring 3 artists, and that'll be during our next opening on April 6th. There's Juan Carlos Castellanos and Laura Castellanos, and they're kind of very well-known local artists who have done very amazing work separately, but they're coming together they created art together, and they're going to be exhibited next to Robert Wood, who's going to present this wonderful collection of gnome luggage. And so he came up with gnome luggage, and possibly
yes, you heard that correctly, gnome.
GNO.
Yes.
So he has this wonderful lore about Nome Island, and each piece of mixed media sculpture is a piece of luggage left behind by a gnome on Nome Island. And so each piece comes with a backstory, and they're currently being exhibited by interior design colleagues, Studio Gary Henderson. And we said, okay, well, that collection's just going to have to move this way when that show is done.
You showed me a few of those online, and it was really amazing and really cool.
It's really fun to go from these oil paintings to gnome luggage.
Yeah, to gnome luggage, yeah.
From Persian Garden.
Yeah.
So we get to live with this wonderful art 2 months at a
Yeah, how
time.
we reconcile that, I'm not sure, but I think we will.
But we featured Mercer Island artists, we featured international artists.
Yes, one time you had Senator Lisa Wellman here.
Yes, yeah, Lisa Wellman.
That was amazing.
She just continues to surprise in her capabilities, and she exhibited. She won't call herself a photographer. She's modest in that way, but she exhibited these beautifully composed photos that we called detritus. Her collection was called Detritus. She has a love affair with rust, and so she finds beauty in mundane sort of environments that are otherwise eroding.
I hope she has it up to date on her tetanus shot.
Yeah, and so we're actually a way to combine art with architecture. We are really hoping to commission Lisa Wellman to basically at the end of this quarter in one of our commercial spaces, we want to feature a wall mural of one of her photos.
That would be amazing.
So the visual, it's like a trompe d'oeil, the visual cue makes it feel even deeper at the end of this quarter. It just sort of heightens this one-point perspective with one of her beautiful works. So and we place art in our projects, which is really fun. If we see opportunity, and an artist comes to mind, and occasionally we'll ask an artist to commission pieces. It all
just everything everything that you're involved in is all art centric. In this gallery here on Mercer Island, you have just inserted yourself in a very positive light here to the scene, which we all love.
Thank you.
What do you want to see happen with the arts here on the island?
Oh, yeah, there's immense potential that has already been realized in the 2 years that we've been sitting in this location, and that we foresee to come. I think Mercer Island has the most ideal geographic location in the center of Lake Washington, and it's easy for us to jump on I-90 and
Mhm.
head east. We're at meetings in Seattle pretty quickly. I mean, granted, there's always potential traffic, but we're so central here. And it feels like the town center is starting to grow up. There's a certain intent that when I talk to people or when I see projects come in through design commission here, the discussions are really robust about how do we manage the inevitable growth that's happening here, but how do we do it creatively, intelligently, and when you have a good management of density, there's a vibrancy that happens, and art is an opportunity to have that cultural exchange, that creative dialogue. I really feel like our first Fridays, which we helped to revitalize on Mercer Island, would become more robust and more of an opportunity, not just for an art walk and wine tasting, but also just a way to support local businesses in the town center. And a lot of people who live on the island, myself included, sometimes just don't want to leave the island.
Yeah. I mean, you're done with your day, you're tired, you don't want to go to Seattle to see an art exhibit or some music. We want to be here.
We want to be here, and the talent is here. There's our youth theater here is so lively. My daughter participates in that, and the ballet, and I mean, there's so many creative ways for the children to get involved, and we try and create a space here that's also child friendly. So we've got kids running around during our art openings, and I enjoy seeing my daughter interacting with her friends in the space and meeting the artists. I feel like
it's
these
refreshing. I mean,
but these are memories that I feel she will value when she gets older, and it allows her through example to really open herself up and find what her creative outlet is. So I'm committed to. I feel like I've doubled down on Mercer Island. I live here. I'm raising a child here. I decided to open shop here.
And I think we count on you and your artistry also to just be here for Mercer Island Center for the Arts, for all the organizations to really make it a vibrant place.
I'm in full support on whatever that looks like, whatever that means. I feel that if there's an opportunity to contribute to that dialogue, I'm there and willing to support it.
Thank you so much. Well, we are supporting you. We love to be here. We love to be here all the time. We're so glad that you're a part of the family.
Yeah,
so it's wonderful. So what's your website?
It's my name. It's SuzanneZahr.com.
Suzanne Zahr.
ZAHR.com.
And then you're located where?
I'm right in the town center, which is really great. I share a wall with the Islander restaurant, which most people know.
If you come down to the Chalet Starbucks, you're across the street.
That's right across the street.
Yeah.
We kind of call ourselves the party corner over here.
It is.
We're looking forward to other businesses coming in. We've got Island Treats and
Neoposto on the corner.
Neoposto on the corner. There's a wine bar coming in, and of course Clark and Clark, who are just, I think, the godparents of the mercantile corner here. Caruccio's anchoring us on the other end. There's a lot of fun to be had on Mercer Island. So we're thrilled to be part of it and be part of its growth, actually, because these are our clients and our friends and our neighbors, and we're here to support each other.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me here.
With pleasure.
I love coming here on Fridays and just seeing you all over the place. So we appreciate it.
You're so fun, Keith. I can't stand it. I miss you when I don't see you. It's like a day without Keith is a day without sunshine.
As I start to blush. Well, thank you again, Suzanne. We're going to call it there. This is a micro-MICA moment. I'm with Suzanne Zahr. Come down and check her out. Oh, one last thing. The next First Friday.
Oh, the next First Friday is a good one to join if you haven't already. It is Friday, April 6th, the first Friday of April. It is our Cotton 2-year anniversary. Cotton Cocktails. Cotton Cocktails. We're kind of taking a little bit of carnivalesque theme, so it'll be super fun. And spring is coming. We're just thrilled to celebrate life. So
wonderful. Well, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys later and tune in for the next micro-MICA moment. Until then.